Subbing in tonight?
You missed us.
You got one too. Put yours on. Come on. That's why you need to wear a tie. You can stick your tie up under the ring. Yes, they will love it.
Y'all can have some too.
All right.
These aren't
All right,
stickers.
Kay.
They're not stickers, they're stamps.
All right, I'm going to put this picture up.
Good.
Where's my attorney?
Oh, it's a border.
Okay, there you go.
I'm going to say that, by the way, too. Well, look, this is good. It's a bad
I'm waiting for my attorney.
Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. We have a few people here who are here to speak about Ron Hensley, who we're going to be presenting earlier. Do you want me to call the public comment people up and want to say something, or just leave them in the order that they're in? I don't care
They
either
need
way.
to come on and do it while she's here. Is that first thing? Absolutely.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
How many people are there, by the way?
Huh?
How many people are there, by the way?
I don't think a lot, maybe like 3 or 4.
That makes sense. Jim, that's you. That's not mine.
Yeah, that sounds
Is
good.
that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, I'll just say, with your permission, I'll have them come up.
My attorney isn't here. Oh, you're fine. Welcome. I'd like to call the Cool. Go ahead and get started. I'd like to call the May 2nd Buncombe County Board of Education regular meeting to order. And at this time, we'll have the presentation of colors by North Buncombe High School, followed by a pledge of allegiance and then a moment of silence. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the
Okay, ready, close. Ready, cut. Oh, ready, close. Ready, cut. Right, face. Okay, ready, close. Ready, cut. Oh, work, march.
Please bow your heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. For some of you that have been to the meeting and past meetings and are fairly observant, I'm not Bob Reinhardt. Bob Reinhardt is the chair, and he is out of town on business today, and as the vice chair, I'm Chip Craig, and I'm filling in for him in his absence. He's done pretty well. He's been chair for a year and a half, and this is the first time I've filled in for him, so I think that's pretty good. Couple things. Jan Blunt is over there, second from the end, and she has public comment sign-up sheet. So if you'd like to make public comment, please see her. And just for future reference, we limit that public comment to 3 minutes. We've had a busy day already. We met for lunch at 12 o'clock with the Buncombe County Schools Foundation Board. And then we've been in meetings since 1:30. We had some workshops. We reviewed the capital outlay recommendation budget, the child nutrition update, 2012-2013 enrollment and facility needs report, cash flow model, and the technology report. And then we also reviewed some board operation policies, series number 2000. And then we met at 5:30 in a closed session for attorney-client privilege and personnel issues. And here we are. Let's see. At this point, I'd like to approve or ask for a motion to approve the agenda. There has been it'd be the motion to approve the agenda as amended. We are moving some things around from the consent agenda. Ms. Baldwin has asked that we move the closed session minutes from March 2013, the closed session minutes from April 2013, the personnel report, the CTE local plan, the STEM high school contract, and AC Reynolds Middle School lease for the fire department up to the action items. So with those changes, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Is there a second? Lisa, you seconded?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let's see, at this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. Baldwin for his superintendent's report.
Ms. Churchill told me it was a board directive to wear our Go Green t-shirt, but somehow I don't think the other board members got that memo, Ms. Churchill. But I'm proud to wear it, Coons Intermediate. First thing I'd like to do is congratulate AC Reynolds High School and North Buncombe High School. I see both of their principals are here, Ms. Sellers, Mr. Evans. Congratulations to you for your leadership. They have recently been recognized. In fact, last week they were recognized through the U.S. News and World Reports. They were listed in the article on America's Best High Schools. They were recognized in the top 10% of high schools in the entire state of North Carolina. Reynolds was ranked 5th. They won a silver award, and North Buncombe was ranked 11th. So a little bit out of the ordinary to single out to, but I think this is an extraordinary achievement. Let's give them a hand. I want to congratulate our, heard the acronym SHAC. Here's what that stands for. It's our School Health Advisory Council, and they just received an Excellence Award in Prevention as of a couple of weeks ago, and that's for outstanding progress in school wellness. Mrs. Debbie Bryant, who is our Health and Physical Education Specialist, she's very instrumental. She's worked on developing school wellness teams throughout our entire system, so we're very, very proud of their achievement. North Buncombe, Mr. Evans, no wonder you're here. Congratulations to our North Buncombe High School World Quest team. In fact, Board, if you remember last year, we brought them before you to recognize their achievements. Last year, they finished 12th out of 44 teams. And now this is a national competition that took place in Washington. This is a great example of our global education initiative that we have across the system, so congratulations to North Buncombe High. An update on the Community Resource Fair. As you recall, that was approved by you, the board, to be piloted in one of our school districts. That program will take place on May the 20th. That's a Monday at Irwin High School, and that will be held in the cafeteria between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Representatives will include church and faith-based organizations along with nonprofit service groups. We have some specific sponsors. I want to recognize Mrs. Blunt's efforts in helping us coordinate that, along with Dr. Jim Brown, principal at Irwin High School. Those sponsors are Children First, Evelyn Charities, YMCA, our Mountain Area Interfaith Council, and the Blue Ridge District of the United Methodist Church. And again, that will occur on May the 20th, so would certainly love to see you in attendance, board members. Congratulations to Christy Cheek, who is there with us tonight. Christy was recognized as the Western Region State Career Tech Education Administrator of the Year. In the Western Region, that includes 19 local school systems. The North Carolina Association of CTE Administrators provide that award, and I'll tell you, if you're ever around Christy, just can't help that enthusiasm not to rub off on you a little bit. She does an incredible job of leading in the area of career tech education, and I can tell you that particular area of the curriculum across this state is moving to the top. They would argue they've always been at the top, but they are moving fast, and we just want to recognize Christy for her leadership. Last couple of days I've been in Chapel Hill. I'm serving as on the state board for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, and I want to make the board and the public aware of a new policy that was just approved regarding transfers. And beginning next year, 2012-13, once a student begins their 9th grade year, wherever that is, and they establish that their 9th grade year, if they transfer from that school system to another school system, they will be ineligible for athletics for 365 days. So this rule goes to effect of a transfer once they are a 9th grader from one system to the other. They do have an opportunity to appeal that, and we talked at length about a number of situations that appeal we would certainly think would be granted. And board, I do believe that this is an opportunity. We're doing a lot of work with our policies. I think it's an opportunity for us to review our current policies regarding the transfers between schools within this school system as it relates now to athletic eligibility. This is athletic eligibility, not whether or not a transfer is approved from school to school for non-athletic reasons. I can tell you, having spent those 2 days and listening to schools across the state, this whole issue of athletic eligibility and transfer is a problem. It is a problem statewide, and to be very honest with you, it is an issue here in Buncombe County Schools and has been. So I'd like to think this is an opportunity for us to at least discuss it and see if there's some opportunities for us to adjust from our end as well. I met recently with middle and intermediate school principals. I actually met with them before I left this week on Monday. And what I asked them to do is to share their scheduling process. What we tried to focus on is consistency between all 7 middle schools. We looked at how schools were offering courses, and these were courses really beyond English, math, social studies, and science. They included courses such as band, chorus, strings. They included our CTE, our career tech courses, including Project Lead the Way. You've heard us talk a lot about that recently. Also included world language and physical education. What I want to do is to bring back a set of recommendations to you at the board meeting in June on how I believe we can try to enhance the consistency across these 7 middle schools and how we offer courses. Those recommendations, I think I can recommend to you some quick fixes, some short-term fixes. One of those will deal with the strings program, for example. We have 2 middle schools that do not offer strings. I think we can take care of that if we're willing to make a commitment with staff. We also have to keep in mind as we look at this, both short-term and long-term, that we do have some legislative requirements. One of those I know we've had a little bit of a discussion about is the 120-minute or minute minimum for weekly physical activity and how that's done. What we're finding out is that we probably had more consistency in offering these courses than what I actually thought going into this, but we still have some real we have some areas that we've got to try to find some consistency. And I say that because I truly believe that my responsibility as superintendent is to look across this whole system and to make sure just because one particular student goes to the North Buncombe district, that they do not have the same opportunities to access courses that they would if they happen to be in the Shenandoah Valley and go to Owen High School. So I want to bring that to you in June and give us an opportunity to really get into some discussion. As referenced earlier by Mr. Craig, the board was presented a recommended capital outlay budget for 2013-14. We had a facility needs report that we try to do our best to project what enrollments might look like 5 years down the road. That's a difficult task. We do know we're on a gradual, steady climb in terms of our student numbers. We also know that we have a number of capital needs, big-time cost capital needs that will occur over this even 5 to 10 year span. I want to recognize the efforts, especially of Mr. Tim Fairley, who directs our facilities, and I also want to recognize Mr. Bernie Sosha. Bernie, by the way, has recently been named our interim child nutrition director, but he's also working extensively with our capital needs and our finance, and so he sort of pulled one on us. If you know Bernie, he's a very numbers down to business guy, and so he decided he'd wear 2 ties, one to represent child nutrition and one to represent finance. So he kind of caught us off guard with a little humor there in our session. We anxiously await the next version of the state budget. We were anticipating that we would receive that this week. We understand that is on delay, and that would be coming from the state Senate. Currently, all we have to work off of is the governor's budget, that version of the budget, and so this is an area, in talking with superintendents the last couple of days, that we all have a grave concern about what this is going to look like and when we're actually going to see that finalized budget. One area of legislation that we sure do want to keep an eye on is the opportunity to have some flexibility with previously restricted capital funds and to be able to use those for digital learning. Dr. Fuchs, I think, did a great job in presenting MTAC recommendations to our board earlier. How we might, in the event that we get that flexibility, how could we use those technology funds over a 2-year period of time to really do the right thing and essentially put Buncombe County Schools on the map regarding instructional technology. I also want to recognize the efforts that are being made to look at a concern that was brought to the board regarding future building needs in the Enka district, Enka Intermediate School. And as I told the board, Chairman Reinhardt's not with us, but we had a lengthy conversation last night, and certainly want to recognize Commissioner King who's here with us. He and Commissioner Belcher made a point to visit Enka Middle School earlier this week and actually take a tour and recognize and listen to the voice of one of our esteemed school communities in Buncombe County. Finally, great teachers make great public schools. It's the most important ingredient in the quality of education. Great teachers make great schools. I want to remind everyone that May 6th through the 10th is National Teacher Appreciation Week. And I would dare say that every single one of us in here, when you hear the word teacher, can think. For some of us, it's thinking a long number of years back. For others, it's immediate. One or more teachers who made a tremendous impact on your life. I hope all of us take the opportunity to express our thanks to as many of them as possible. For me, that's getting in 41 of our schools, and I'm going to make that effort during that week. And I hope, again, all of our school communities take advantage of an opportunity just to be able to say thank you for what you do. It is a tireless, often, I think, underappreciated job. But those teachers do truly represent the quality of our schools and certainly the high quality of Buncombe County schools. That concludes my comments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Baldwin. At this time, I'd like Ms. Blunt to come up and do employee service recognition, please.
Good evening, Chairman Craig, Superintendent Baldwin, members of the board. We have with us one person this evening that I know of, Julie Young, who has been with North Buncombe Middle School for 10 years. Julie, come on now. I hope. No, Julie. Anyone here from North Buncombe Middle School who wants to take Julie's award? Okay. Well, that was quick. There's somebody I already know. I thought you were throwing a card. Take that to Ms. Young. Oh, and a Teacher of the Year. So, ready for Ms. Young. Sorry, she wasn't able to make it. Shall I move right along?
Please.
We have some special recognition tonight, and with your indulgence, Chairman Craig, I would like to circumvent the rules just slightly and do a couple of public comments in association with that recognition so that we can package it up neatly.
That'd be great.
We're going to start with a person who started life as a teacher, quickly realized, as I did, that there were other things to do that were easier, maybe, than being a teacher. Lynette Von Hensley has been our Child Nutrition Director since October of 2007. Next week, like Teacher Appreciation Week, next week is not Child Nutrition, what do they call it? School Nutrition Professionals Week. So I think it's only appropriate that we have her with us to say a fond farewell. She completed her last duty on April 30th. So she came back generously so that she could be with us tonight. And we've got a few people who I'm going to call upon to speak about Ms. Lynette. Lynette, I think I should come embarrass you a little bit and have you stand up here while they're talking about you. Come on, Ms. Lynette. Can I have, let's start with Emily Jackson from ASAP. She has a few things she'd like to say.
Hi, I'm Emily Jackson. I'm here here on behalf of the Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Project, and it's been our honor to work with Lynette since she came to be the child nutrition for Buncombe County Schools. The minute she got to this county, she was working with us and was supportive of local food and local farms, and being a former teacher, she also knew the importance of education with child nutrition, so she was really interested in promoting and using the templates that talked about the local farm, the food from local farms. We could not have asked for someone better to work with. I mean, she was just outstanding. She put her efforts with the child nutrition in Henderson and Haywood County, so the trifecta, Western North Carolina, and put out a local food bid that's a model for the rest of the country. I think Lynette really started to help put us on the map for a community that values nutrition for our children and also our farms, and knows that those don't have to be opposite endeavors. And so we just appreciated so much her willingness to work with us and to support local food and local farms and working with our farm to school program. And I hope that several of you have seen our local food guide for kids, and if you haven't, I've got lots of copies, and Lynette is featured in it as well as other child nutrition directors in Western North Carolina. And I'm sure she'd be happy to autograph a copy for you. So, thank you.
Please stand now. Fran Bigpen is here from Buncombe County Parks and Rec. It was a pleasure to get to work with Fran and Lynette last year as we launched our Super Summer Meals program, which fed over 52,000 meals to students in Buncombe County over the summer last year.
Thank you for letting me just say thank you, Lynette. That's really all I needed to say tonight, was because we've had through Buncombe County Parks, Greenways, and Recreation, Child Care Services, we've had a really long-standing, terrific relationship with the county schools. We really appreciate that. And that partnership was enriched about 2 years ago when we were able to start working with Lynette to provide the lunches and the snacks for the children at Valley Child Development Center, which is the child care program that we operate, in partnership with the county schools out in Swannanoa. What a terrific opportunity for great nutrition for our children. It was been great for our teachers to be able to work with you. And then last summer, we had the wonderful opportunity at several of our pools to sponsor and host the Super Summer Meals program. And I gotta tell you, the enthusiasm that Lynette brought was contagious. The wonderful, I guess it's a characteristic that you have to say, well, let me think about it, let me think yes, and let me figure out if we can get it done. That can-do attitude, we greatly appreciate, and thank you, Lynette. I hope you have a wonderful retirement.
Keep standing there. One more speaker, we have Greg Morum from Children First Communities and Schools.
Well, I'd like to echo the thanks and accolades. I just want to say, on behalf of Children First Communities and Schools, we really are grateful for your work to make the Super Summer Meals program take off last year. And we're so excited, and thank you to the school board for supporting that and bringing it back for this next year. We work with a lot of low-income families and children across the county, and just know that the summertime is such a crucial time for childhood hunger, and to see your leadership to get that program going and to make that impact, and knowing that that will hopefully continue to be a feature in our county. We just say thank you, and thank you to the school board's support of that effort. So thank you very much.
I didn't realize that we had something for you. Yes, on top of your. Mr. Craig, can you come down with one, please, sir? It's become a little bit of a tradition over the past year or two. Chris Kermy and I, in our spare time, like to get a little bit creative, and so we started a trend that we didn't realize we were starting with. Dr. McCallum, I think, was our first, but we've been doing magazine covers for our departing directors. So I'd like to about Duke, Ned can tell you the way to a man's or a dog's heart is through his stomach. So that is your parting gift from us from Buncombe County Schools. So take that, and then I'll let you say, no, Lynette, when I say 1 minute. We have children, you love children, and they're waiting out in the hall with ring schools, so. Come say goodbye. 1 minute. Clock's running.
Well, what day was that? I say goodbye to the principal. I'm going to be tame tonight. I thought it was going to be in timeout, but I was just having fun. I'm retiring knowing that I've spent the better part of my career serving children through child nutrition as a teacher and then working in healthcare food service management. When I added it up, it's 41 years and 3 months. I said, no wonder you're tired. But it has been such a privilege to work with Buncombe County Schools, with this community, with the board, and with all of these marvelous principals and assistant principals we have, as well as teachers. But my children are my most important part. I want the very best for all of our children. I've loved children forever and just have a special love for them. And my nephew appointed me Aunt Ned of the world. I never had children, but he said, I don't know, children gravitate to you. You must be the Aunt Ned of the world. And so I leave here not as a mother, but Aunt Ned of the world. And I'm going home to take care of my 13-year-old German Shepherd, Duke, who is really declining now. But he's brought me so much joy, as he has brought children and adults everywhere we've lived. He's just a special, special dog. And if he'd been strong enough, he'd be rolling in here with his walking wheelchair. I ordered it immediately. And he's just not doing all that well right this minute. So now that I've talked 5 minutes, the thing Jan forgot is I am a Baptist preacher's daughter, Baptist preacher's granddaughter, Baptist preacher's niece. We don't know how to say anything in 1 minute, but it has been my privilege, thanks to all of you. And Jan, I have to say that when I was putting on the foo-foo clothes again, you ready? And I started with those pantyhose. I said, Jan Blunt. I wouldn't have to be dressing up. And Jan Blunt could work me in last month. I could retire 2 days, and I'm already relaxed. Thanks to all of you and to my children.
About Christy Cheek in your comments. That leaves me with pretty much nothing to say. But you did get to meet Christy, so Christy, come down. And I'm going to ask Suzanne Swanger to tell you a little bit about Ms. Cheek and all of her achievements as a career technical education director.
I will be very brief, but I would like for you to think about, what did Christy teach when she was a teacher?
Marketing.
Marketing. Absolutely. So does she go forth with a marketing attitude in everything that she does? Absolutely. She is a wonderful teacher leader and central office leader and educator. She's always positive and she always has a can-do attitude, and no one can tell her no. So she goes forth and represents Buncombe County and seeks partners, and they're always at the table because of her professionalism and her can-do attitude. And what a caring individual that I am blessed to work with. She is a district leader in North Buncombe where she lives. She's a leader in Buncombe County, and then she works tirelessly with her association in the state. So I'm very proud to have her as one of my directors. Can't think of any director in the state that can top the work that she does. So join me in congratulating Christy.
And truly, I will just say that I'm very blessed. And, for me, it's all about the students. That's really who it's about. And whether I am attending an FFA rally, watching robotics competition, or whatever I am doing, it's about kids. And so like Lynette said, they are our kids. That's what it's about. So thank y'all, thank you. We work with some incredibly wonderful, wonderful people. Principals, I thank you. It can't happen without you. Parents, thank you. Everyone, it's great. I love working in Buncombe County Schools. Thank you. I tell you, when she says it's all about the students, she really means it. How many times have I made you get up at 4:30? I get up to be at a Channel 13 live shot at 4:30 in the morning. I think she holds the record, like 8 or 9 of these now. It's been pretty amazing. I think Dr. Baldwin said that great teachers make great schools. And what more appropriate way to recognize that fact than to have Kimberly Clark, who prefers to be called Kim, from Owen High School, come forward with her principal, Meg Turner, and tell you about not just any old award. This mathematics teacher has won the 2013 Career Award for Science and Mathematics given by the borough's Wellcome Foundation. It comes with money. Not just 1,000 here, 2,000 there. Anybody want to guess? Well, let's hear a guess. No, not somebody who knows. Jack Evans back there raised his hand because he has a science teacher who won it last year, so he knows exactly how much. Somebody just shout out a figure.
50,000.
100. Close. 175. Let's have Ms. Turner tell you why Ms. Clark won this award.
I was really excited when I heard that Kim wanted to leave her position as coach in Buncombe County and come back into the classroom at the time that I was looking for a math teacher at Owen High School.
Explain what a coach is, because a lot of these folks may think of basketball.
It's a really important role in terms of facilitating better instruction for classroom teachers. So we have instructional coaches, literacy coaches and math coaches that work with teachers in our schools to help them be better at their work. So who better be a teacher than somebody who's been coaching teachers, right? So Kim applied, and I'll say she went through a very rigorous hiring process. I know y'all talk a lot about the hiring process, but we did. We put her in front of the whole committee and did the whole works with the parent and student, and it didn't take the committee long to realize that Kim was head and heels above all the other candidates, and it's just been awesome to see the change that she has affected at Owen High School in terms of our math department. It's all out there in public record. Math is not our shining spot at Owen, but it will be pretty soon. I'm really stoked about what's happening. We've embraced new curriculum and new textbooks and a new approach that really shifts thinking and learning from the classroom teacher to the student, and we're going to see great things come to be. And Kim's our leader in that, and we have a whole bunch of math folks that are becoming teacher leaders that do a lot of collaborating. It's really exciting, and I was really, it was amazing, and I realized they should have given me a time frame, but I'm going to be short. But I want to share with you just this moment when we walked in, Dr. Baldwin and Kim and I, into the interview for the borough's Welcome Grant, and it was in one of those huge boardrooms that you see on television. I mean, I don't ever go into these kind of rooms, but this humongous mahogany table with these big fancy screens on the wall, and all these very important people sitting around the other side of the tables with these cute little comfy chairs, and it just felt like education was really important. And it's strange to feel like you have to go to that kind of environment to see that or to feel that, because we should really feel that every day, right? But to go in there in an environment that looks and feels really, really different, and to see all these very important people sitting around the table focusing and putting energy into education, it was a very hopeful time. We're really proud of her and look forward to the work that she's going to help our department do in
hear where Kim's gonna travel with us. I hear 75,000, I'm thinking Hawaii, or
Who's she taking with her? Tell us what helps them against this.
So I want to echo what everyone else has said, that students come first. I think that's why we're all here. Our passion is students. And so my passion is helping students learn mathematics. And in order to do that, I felt like this shift needed to happen in the way we were teaching and what we were teaching. So we're, like Ms. Turner said, we're making a lot of changes in my school and across the county. I've spent the past few years working with educators at middle school and high school level, and that's my plan to keep doing that. But now I actually have the funding to do that. So that money is going to go toward professional development for myself and my colleagues to continue to improve mathematics education for our students. Thank you all very much.
Now on the agenda, it has green schools under good news, and I wore green today, so I guess I get to introduce Kay McLeod. It's supposed to be the curriculum feature, but we'll cross boundaries. This is a happy, good news curriculum story from Kay McLeod, our science curriculum specialist.
Good evening, Chairman Craig and Dr. Baldwin, members of the board and audience. Yesterday morning's paper was overflowing with environmental issues. Raw sewage gushes into French Broad. Fungus claims bats across western North Carolina. Groups seek to halt biomass plant and other such problems. Yet last night I attended a meeting with two presentations, one about the history of DuPont Forest and how it was saved from development, and the other about blue ghost fireflies. How many of you know about the blue ghost fireflies in this area? Well, email me and I'll send you some great information. The audience last night sat in awe of the presentation and accounting from the research done by this area professor and her student about these amazing insects. This is the only area where they exist and the only research published about them. What a magical, wonder-filled place this is. Later last evening, as I thought about this meeting tonight, I moved farther away from those environmental issues to a renewed sense of wonder, and to embrace the joy and wonder that our Green Schools program brings to us. And in many ways, it prepares our students to meet those types of challenges and to keep their sense of wonder. Rachel Carson had a quote that I like a lot. If I had influence with the good fairy, who is supposed to preside over all children, I should ask that her gift to each child in the world would be a sense of wonder so indestructible that it would last throughout life. At my site visits to the schools, I found the wonder alive and well. Green team leaders and members throughout schools included custodians, teachers from all levels and disciplines, including EC and AIG teachers and art teachers, administrators, media specialists, counselors, cafeteria managers, and most importantly, as we've heard tonight, our students. All were exuberant about their activities and projects. Outdoor classrooms, gardens of all kinds, nature trails, monarch stations, day service events, and many larger projects would not be possible without community partnerships and volunteers. For just our applications for this year, I will share a list of some of the community partnerships mentioned so that you can have a feel of how much of our community is coming in to support this program with our students and teachers. Master Gardeners, Greens Creek Nursery, Echo View Farms, Warren Wilson College, Mission Hospital, Home Depot, Asheville Greenworks, TD Bank, United Community Bank, Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Project, Sow True Seeds, RiverLink, Alliance for Climate Education, National Wildlife Association, United States Green Building Council, and then also Buncombe County Schools Foundation and the Buncombe County Schools Maintenance Department, especially Seth McLam. We heard from Seth today. He actually sent an email to Chris, and Chris forwarded it to me, and I put it in my little talk because it's notable. The Buncombe County Schools Maintenance Department is excited to announce that the Buncombe County Schools has successfully achieved Energy Star certification for 38 schools. The Energy Star signifies that these schools are in the top 25% of energy efficient schools nationwide. This achievement exemplifies the community effort that is so important in maintaining an energy-efficient school system. I would like to also tonight express gratitude to Fast Signs for providing all of our green school banners, not just this year, but the 2 previous years and hopefully for years to come. This has double meaning tonight because Mr. Dieterle from Fast Sign is here with us tonight. His son is a 2nd grader at Glen Arden and will be part of their student group tonight. Mr. Dieterle, please stand up so we can give you a hand of appreciation. Acknowledgements, I must also mention a few individuals. Dr. John Snover, Director of Global Initiative for Sustainable Technologies from AB Tech, has continued to provide materials, curriculum, and direction for our inquiry-based investigations, and we're very appreciative of that. Robin Cape, who is here tonight, through her initial reading, writing, and retrofit grant, she sparked our development of our program and its direction, and has helped me to transition our system forward to the NC Green Schools program. I was able to revamp our procedures and blend the format to provide a pathway for schools from initial recognition where they received the banners to go to the NC Green Schools program, which is on Robin's Reading, Writing, Retrofit website. That will give them the state recognition, and then hopefully someday they might get national recognition. The 5 categories of the rubrics are culture and community, school sustainability, healthy schools, curriculum integration, and innovation. For Buncombe County Schools initial recognition, schools must earn 30 points total from 3 of the 5 categories. For the NC Green Schools, the points increases for each of the 3 possible levels. Currently, before this year, there were 17 recognized BCS Green Schools. Tonight, we add 8 more, bringing our total to 25 schools in just 3 years. To top that, 2 schools tonight who are receiving recognition from NC Green Schools. It's my pleasure to present them. They will share a few of their green initiatives and accept their recognition. And Chairman Craig, if you would please, as you were ready to do us the honor of presenting as we proceed. First school is Sand Hill. The first school is Coots.
I'm not sure if Sand Hill has somebody here. I don't believe it.
Oh, they don't have anybody here.
They did.
Oh, they had to leave. Okay, well, I put them first on the agenda because they said we would have that. So our first school is not Sand Hill Middle School.
Oh, we're right here.
They're here.
Oh.
They are here.
Come on up, Sand Hill.
Okay.
It's okay.
You don't mind hanging for a minute?
Hang on.
We're sorry. I thought, okay. Nate is in graduate school and has a young baby at home, so I asked him.
Last class tonight.
All right.
Last class of the semester, no.
I think you can probably hear us as teachers. I'm pretty used to talking pretty loud. So I'm Kelly Hanna. This is Nathan Ryan. We are both teachers at Sand Hill Venable Elementary. We are the leaders of our garden club and green team efforts, which range from gardening to energy consumption to health and fitness clubs. And we are really excited to get this recognition tonight, and I'll let Nate tell you about some of our projects.
Yeah, we've started the school garden, and the coolest thing I think is we made a sustainable plan with a lot of community members such as Home Depot and Asheville Greenworks and the Master Gardeners Association. So hopefully we have a sustainable plan for the next couple of years to come, and that's really exciting. Thank you.
Okay, then we have Chris Cowan and Julie Atkins from Coots and the principal, Dr. Sheila Gibbs.
Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Baldwin. Good evening, stakeholders and community members. We have 3 students here, Andy Webster, Megan Skelly, and Katie Vonchkova, who are members of our green team, and they'll share a little bit about what they have done to spread our environmental literacy throughout the building.
Here's the mic. It's good.
We learn, then teach others. The green team works hard to make Coots greener. Our students are in charge of all recycling. We reach out to community businesses to form partnerships so they can help us with our garden grants. Coots has been awarded the $18,000 Mission Community Benefit Program Learning Garden Grant. Not only does the green team focus on being eco-friendly, it is a school-wide effort. growing environmental stewards for a sustainable future. Thank you.
I like your shirt. I like your shirt.
Thank you
so much for our shirts.
Green,
You're
Principal,
welcome.
Mr. Edwin Spivey.
Hey everybody, thank you very much for listening. Mr. Spivey's coming up with me. You were supposed to be greeted by 3 of our young ladies from Enka High School, but when the crunch time came, they realized this is 48 hours till prom. We'll see how many of them made it. As we were applying for this grant, I realized that many of our faculty members and students throughout the school have been involved with many things. It was more, the project was more me collecting data on what we were already doing. But the one thing that Ms. McLeod asked me to share with you guys is we have ACE, the Alliance for Climate Education, come in every year to present to our freshmen, and they present that everybody has a carbon footprint. We use energy, and the only thing we can do is really minimize the amount of energy that we use, the amount of our carbon footprint, and challenge our students to do one thing. So if they don't recycle, recycle. If they don't turn off the lights when they leave a room, turn off the lights. So I want to extend that challenge to everybody in this room as well. Please do one thing. It'll help our earth, it'll help our students, it'll help our future. Thank you.
Do one thing, don't you love that? All right. We have from Fairview Elementary, Katie Edwards, and Principal Jennifer Reed.
Hi, I'm Katie Edwards. I teach kindergarten at Fairview Elementary. I've started our Green Schools Initiative this year. It's in its infancy, so we're hoping that next year we can gather more teachers and parent partners. And we have a couple of students up here to speak about what we've been doing within our school. Frankie Kane is in 2nd grade, and Charlotte Pollard in 4th grade.
For Earth Day, we went out to the school garden and we looked at the plants and vegetables that help clean the air, and to help the earth, if you plant your own garden and if you just walk out there, that doesn't pollute the air. But if you have to go to the store to get the vegetables and the truck has to come deliver them, that pollutes the air. And we in my class wrote a letter to us, and this is what mine says. Dear Earth, I promise to pick up every piece of trash that I see. I will plant trees to help clean the earth, clean the air. I will turn off the lights when I leave my room. Sincerely, Frankie. Thank you. For years, Fairview Elementary has had a school garden with a compost bin. We partner with our community to maintain the garden. Our school garden volunteers include the PTA, students from Warren Wilson College, and AmeriCorps volunteers. Our school garden has vegetable beds assigned to a teacher or PTA member attending year-round. New plants are added and the garden is weeded by classes and volunteers. One of our teachers has started a garden club for students to get more involved with the garden. Our PTA has a landscaping budget and we receive chrysanthemum donations from Creekside Nursery, a local business. The PTA has also received a $1,700 grant for trees and other plants. Our school has a recycling program. Every classroom has a recycling bin. Throughout the school, plastic bottles are recycled in separate bins. After breakfast, students separate their milk and juice containers into separate bins. Each grade learned about Earth Day. Kindergarten planted seeds, weeded, and picked up litter on campus. They also wrote about how to take care of the earth. First grade planted flowers. Other grades have written about ways to take care of the earth and why it is important. This work is displayed on bulletin boards outside of the classrooms. On Earth Day in my grade, we wrote about how we could preserve water, paper, and what we could recycle instead of throwing away. For example, we could preserve water within the school by not keeping taps running when we wash our hands in the restrooms. We look forward to next year when Fairview Elementary Green Team can think and implement new ways to make our school more green. Thank you.
Next we have, excuse me. That didn't work real well. Glen Arden Elementary. Andrea Bassett and her students. Christina Speck is the principal.
Hi, I'm Andrea Baskin. I teach second grade at Glen Arden, and we realized this year that we've been doing a lot of green stuff, and we actually have been doing a lot more than we realized. And from that, we've sparked a green school committee, and so we hope to be doing a lot more in the future with that. And I have a few students here. I have Phoebe Smith. She's in first grade. Sophie Smith is in fourth grade, and John Dieterle is in second grade. And they're going to tell you about some of the things that we're already doing this year.
We are recycling bottles, cans, paper towels, and more stuff. And we always turn out the lights when we are leaving our classrooms. But if one of our other teachers is in, I wouldn't turn out the My class, we have learned a lot about recycling, but mainly eco-readers has learned like how to plant trees, and we learned how to take better care of the environment. And this is one of the books we read called Micro Recycle. And at the very end, we each got to share, like read one of the tips in the very back about how to take better care of the environment. And we also made these really cool bags that were reusable, and they're really cool, and they actually work. And they're made out of t-shirts. So, yeah. And like Phoebe said, turning out the lights. One day I was going to the bathroom, and there was a sign in front of the light switch that said, "Go green, please turn out the lights." So that's the new thing.
Our Eco-Readers is a club of third and fourth graders that meet after school to read environmental literacy and do also ecologically minded things. And we have John.
We have a school garden, and we cook with local food, and we recycle.
So we've participated in with the Growing Minds with Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Program. We've been doing their farm to school cooking program with Adam Hayes of the Red Stat Grill. I think this is our third or fourth year going into that. And this year we decided to make that a second grade only program so that every kid that comes through Glen Arden will get to go through that program. Thank you.
Maloney is their leader, and principal is Miss Jackie Spire.
Hi, I'm here with 5 students from the Go Green Club, which is just one of the initiatives at North Windy Ridge right now. Mr. Danny Fusco, our assistant principal, undertook a huge job in the fall of the year for our Green Apple Day of Service, and in cooperation with several businesses around and our PTO, they did a lot of landscaping at the school. We also have 4-H club that meets after school, and they use our garden space too. And we have classroom teachers that have really made an effort to fund our garden through Donor's Choice. So those are just some of the things that I could highlight that we have going on at North Windy Ridge. The students that I brought with me today have some messages for you about their feelings about the environment. So we'll have Rowan McClure come first. Okay.
I would like to talk about our Go Green Club and how we're trying to help the school be more green and recycle. Well, we've been going around the school, recycling everything before we do our Go Green Club. And then we get back and we're doing a recycled art project where we're doing a contest to see who can make the best recycled art, and they win up like a prize for that. And we also have commercials during the morning announcements for the Go Green Club to help people go green. So, thank you.
Emma Kent.
Our Earth is at a great risk. If we all take our part in doing this, we can save the Earth, and North Windy Ridge intends on doing that.
Scylla Ersayan.
Our school wants to protect our Earth, so we do that by recycling. If everybody else doesn't, we will. We will encourage everybody who doesn't to recycle and do their best to save the Earth.
Vega German.
Our club at North Windy Ridge is trying to take a step to make everyone recycle and fix our problems with the ecosystem.
And our last student is Jillian Trejo. She's elected not to talk to you all tonight. But thank you very much.
And we have Lester Elementary.
Good evening. I'm more comfortable speaking for the children and adults. I'm a resource teacher at Lester Elementary, and I didn't realize how many things we were actually doing at our school, like recycling cans and recycling cell phones, and our teacher uses items to make art projects with the students. And this year, we had a 3rd grade student who took the initiative and wanted to do something about the Capri Sun packets, and went online and found that you can save those packets and send them to the company, and they'll make pocketbooks or pencil pouches and stuff. We have those in the cafeteria in different places in the school, and we're hoping to do more things next year.
Weaverville Elementary, Kay Aubrey, and Principal Brent Wise.
Good evening. I'm Kay Aubrey, the media specialist at Weaverville Elementary, and we do several things at our school as well. And we recycle, and some of the other activities we have after school, we have the garden club, and we are very fortunate to have a greenhouse and a butterfly garden on our grounds as well. And so I have a 4th grade student with me here tonight, Catherine Moran, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the butterfly garden and the greenhouse.
2006 and the greenhouse since 2011. The butterfly garden is a peaceful place and students come out to do art projects, poetry, and writing. Some of the flowers that are in the garden are zinnias, marigolds, and goldenrods. There are dillweed plant for the swallowtail butterflies, milkweed for the monarchs, and fourth graders do a life cycle study on them. Viburnums attract finches, and robins like the nest in the dogwoods, and there's a birdhouse for a family of bluebirds. Rabbits nest in mulch. Vegetables are grown in the greenhouse, and annuals are grown for landscaping around the school. I am a member of our garden club, and we do various activities growing and planting flowers. Thank you.
And for our last two awards, I'll have Rob and Kate come up to present NC Green Schools, or schools that have excelled beyond the banner for several years.
Well, thank you so much for having us come this evening. I've brought with me Tim Ballard, who's with the Blue Ridge Sustainability Institute, and he's partnering with Reading, Writing, and Retrofit to really take this program that we began and grew here in Buncombe County across the state to maximize the kind of enthusiasm we saw tonight. I mean, when I see these children and they talk about the world, how it feels to them, and what they want to do and what they want to inherit, it makes my heart swell and gives me really hope for where we're all headed. And so it's a real honor to be creating a program that can help guide, give resources, and give recognition for schools who really are taking those steps to integrate all these things in our world together in a way that our kids can grow up with that sense of wonder and pride in their engagement with this planet that we call home. So tonight we have two awards for two of your schools who have gone beyond your program and stepped up to our level of a recognition, which does really ask for a higher level of integration, looking at the rubric and benchmarking what you do in your school to meet just a little higher engagement. The first school we have here this evening is
Owen Middle School.
For Owen Middle School. And you all, who is the Owen Middle team here this evening? Yes, great. Teresa Cowan and Wayne Drummond. Nice to see you both. We want to present you, Tim. Please present them with this award for to be a North Carolina School of Quality. And this is for moving beyond the initial steps of being a green school and taking it even further, integrating it into their curriculum and keep building on the programs they have done. Do you want to tell us a bit about what you've done? Or?
I'll just take a split second. Board, thank you. Appreciate being here tonight. I am no longer at Owen Middle School. I have taken a new role and stepped away from Buncombe County Schools and now work for NC State. But I have left in good hands the Green School program at Owen Middle. Last year, with great pride, I say we were the only silver award winner in Buncombe County, and now we've stepped up to the next level. When Green School conversations started, way back when, Owen had already been there and done that. So people came to us to look around and see how is it being done, and I take great pride in saying that we continue to do that. When we looked at the rubric, it's very different. Green schools go beyond recycling. And it's wonderful to hear kindergartners talk about recycling. But the rubric for the standards that we achieved this year really look towards the community and sharing into the community that which your children are learning within the school building. And that is where Owen Middle is trying to move towards. Something I challenge the board to do is one aspect of the rubric we're not in control of. The board is. There are things that we cannot do with electricity, we cannot do with power, we cannot do with transportation, we cannot do with those things unless you give us permission. So I challenge the board to allow these schools to go where they need to go to maintain green schools and above. Thank you from Owen Middle.
And then we have another school this evening, Cane Creek Middle School. Is there anybody from Cane Creek here this evening? I do want to tell a story that was very inspiring to me when I met Todd Robertson, who is one of your lead teacher on this program. And, you know, when you create a program that you're trying to help engage teachers and students, and as a non-teacher, it's like, does this work? And I met Todd, and he said, you know, I went to the website, and I wanted to look at the rubric because we knew we wanted to move on to your state recognition. And I went to the website, and I was looking for something about our gardens. And then I saw the thing on the rubric about air quality, and I really care about air quality. So I clicked on that, and I went to the page on air quality, and I found some resources. And I clicked on the resource, and I got somebody's phone number, and I asked them how I could get some anti-idling curriculum, and they said, well, call this number, and in 3 days we were installing anti-idling signs on our campus. And he was just so excited. And he went, and he also helped put together a team with his administrators, who I will say, when we took the tour, the administrator wasn't in her office, and the lights were off, and I was very impressed. So Tim, would you hand us this award? This is for North Carolina School of Promise, Cane Creek Middle School. We're very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I was expecting Todd to be here this evening, and my assistant principal just told me he had to go to his son's ball game. But the anti-idling campaign, all of our schools have long car rider lines, so that's been a great idea that is met, and we're pleased with that. We've also been working with our lighting, that our maintenance department is helping us cut back on our lighting, and we've saved a lot of money there. $19,000, so just remember that.
I hope all these teachers don't get me in trouble.
Yeah, but there has been a lot been going on, and I'm sorry I'm just a blank. I wasn't expecting to speak this evening, but we're just so pleased that you're doing this for us. I hope we're back next year as well. Thank you.
Thank you all. I do want to say that I am very proud to work with Buncombe County School Systems, and am completely impressed with the commitment. What I saw and why we created this program is that there are embers in almost every school. They just need a little blowing on, and they spark into flames. And you keep proving it to me over and over. Thank you.
And I'd just like to thank the board and the audience. It's a long time to listen to that many children, but I'm so proud of our children, and I'm so pleased that we give them this opportunity to present to not just their peers at a school, but a room full of scary big adults. And I just would like to give a little round of applause for our children. Yeah, we'll have to get a step for next time so we can see you when you talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blunt. That's a lot of good news and special recognition. Now we move on to public comment. And just a reminder to sign in if you haven't. And I'm going to do things slightly different. I'm going to give you all 3 minutes. I'm going to say it's 3 minutes, and then I'll give you about 5 seconds after that. So just a 3-minute warning. Who's first, Ms. Blunt?
We have Michelle Hayeswood.
That wasn't a comment to me, was it?
No.
Hi, board. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you today. First of all, I want to tell you the parents of the Enka district are ready to have a 5-6 intermediate school built, and we're coming today to ask you about it. We've asked parents to send an email via Connie, so please look for those. I don't know how many you're getting. They'll be coming in. So, for support, we really want to have y'all take a look at it as you're looking at facility priorities. And I was in today and happy to listen to your meeting. So I just want to touch, I gave you a letter last meeting, and I've talked to several of you starting as early as October last year to really start pushing this. Physical issues were brought up. I'll just quickly talk about those. I think this is an equity issue, not a physical issue. Half of the administrative staff and means half of that education resource for my child, half of the computer time for my child, and we're also, don't forget, the largest school west of Charlotte, so we're facing that challenge. When you're talking about putting modulars and doing temporary solutions, that's my taxpayer money as well, and I think you're going to find that area growing. Last time you went to a different area for expansion. I feel like we're really going to be expanding in our area, especially with the new exit that you talked about today. There's changes on the ground that can't be reflected necessarily in some of the formulas. And just because you have a number of classrooms doesn't mean the facility in other ways isn't large enough. So I urge you, please, to look at our district finally for our intermediate school. The new exit coming right in the heart of the district, so redistricting is not going to help. It's going to be in the far end of the county, not on the edges. So that's not going to help in that situation. And with the new bond issues that they're talking about with the water system takeover, there is questions that bonds can be in jeopardy possibly for counties and cities because of state action. So we have bond money available now. Please, 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 before it's too late, if for some reason something happens, please take advantage of it and do it. I'll be quick. The 5-6 school concept I think is the best because for two reasons I'm going to say quickly. Female students who are 5th graders are more mature than the elementary school students there. And those facilities right now are not, do not accommodate their maturity level, if you know what I'm saying, right now. They need to be in a different environment for their sakes and for those younger kids. And then the overcrowding traffic with the 6 on that same site, you're going to have the same egress problems. And it's frustrating for parents, not only the residents there. So an alternate site and a 5-6 intermediate school will solve overcrowding in the elementary schools that feed into that, and will solve a lot of your other community problems, as well as the needs for the 5th and 6th grade students in our district. Please, please fund it, and please build it soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Celia Gudger. And Emma, they're going to go together.
Is that 6 minutes or 3?
Okay, my name is Emma Wood, and my name is Celia Gudger. And we are going to talk about the overcrowding at our school, and we go to Enka Middle School, and let me tell you, that is the most crowded school I have ever seen in my entire life. It's like ridiculous sometimes.
At lunch, we are very overcrowded that you have to literally sit in between people. Like you have no seat, you have to sit on your knees. It's crazy. And the lines for lunch are insane. They like travel around the snack place.
And in the hallways, we have a bunch of small hallways, and then we have longer hallways that connect to other hallways. And when you're walking down the hallways between class changes and UA changes and all of this, we are literally up against each other on the walls and the lockers, and there's no place to even like breathe, so it's a little overcrowded.
And I would at least like to say, like, only the front of the school has like been, like, has the nice bathrooms and all the nice places, but towards the back it's kind of been not taken care of as well.
Okay. And besides the overcrowdedness at our school, we also wanted to bring up the point about bullying at our school because it has gotten extremely intense in the past 3 years, and there has not been much done about it or anything to change the things that have been going on at our school. And of course, they've done many programs, but nothing's really been reinforced to help anything that's been going on. And I don't know what else to say about that.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
John Sutton.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me talk tonight. My name is John Sutton. I'm the proud parent of a 3rd grader and a 5th grader at Hominy Valley Elementary School. The 5th grader is really excited about going to Enka Middle School next year. However, her mom and I have some concerns about the facility and the overcrowding that you've heard. Namely, I wanted to speak to you a little bit about House Bill 334 and my concerns that the way I read that bill, if that becomes law and the school board has the authority to use the money out of the capital funds to not build new projects, but to repay old debts or go into technology at existing schools, that what will happen is you will do that, and you won't spend the money to build the school that we need out there at Enka. You've heard about the overcrowding issues. I mean, you know, I don't want to get into all those studies. I think the best evidence is to hear the students say that they can't walk up and down the halls, can't open their lockers, or they're waiting too long in the lunch line to where they don't have time to eat. These problems will only get worse if there's any further delay, and my concern is that the way House Bill 334 reads, that it's going to cause an unnecessary delay, and that delay would be devastating. To me, it's an access issue. As Superintendent Baldwin mentioned when talking about course offerings, it would be concerning if a student at North Buncombe can offer the same student the same courses as is offered at Owen. That is pretty much how the issue reflects with me. The students at Enka, in the Enka district, deserve to be treated as equal as the rest of the students in Buncombe County. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sutton.
Ghephardt.
Hello. I'm both a parent and a teacher at Enka Middle School. I'm a parent of some students who will eventually go to Enka Middle School, and I can speak from a teacher's perspective as to some of the issues that a 5-6 school might remedy. I remember when Tom Keever first came, he said that Enka was like a sleeping giant, and that really resonated with me. I completely agree, and I think that there are many things that might wake it up, but I think a 5-6 school definitely could help with that. I think that it would create a smaller sense of community, and the students would have a stronger sense of belonging there at the school. When they have more of an identity with their school community, I think they're held more accountable. Right now, they can feel kind of anonymous. They're just a number. And with a smaller environment, they can feel a little bit more accountable for their behavior. It's a little bit more challenging to steal from another student if you know that you're going to have to run into them again, or to misbehave and when you know you're going to see that teacher again. And that seems to not be happening as much right now because it can be quite anonymous with that number of students and teachers there. And of course, when our students have a better education, it leads to a better community, and I am a member of that community as well, and I care very much about it. So I also implore you to consider a 5-6 school for our district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lynn Miller.
Hi, I'm Lynn Miller, and I was one of the original teachers at Enka Middle School, 1986-87 school year. And just as a reflection, I came from Candler as an 8th grade teacher. There were 4 of us, and we had 100 kids. We knew all of them very well. We hit the middle school, and the teachers were overwhelmed because we knew in a school that size that we were losing students. And I feel like that's been occurring now all these years because there's just too many kids to keep up with. And in the time that I was there, we made 2 additions. 11 classroom spaces came with it. We can continue to add classroom spaces. That doesn't change the gym, that doesn't change the cafeteria, the library, the computer labs, on and on. Second, after I retired in 2004, and I don't know times, but somewhere after that, there was an article in the paper and proposals for new schools. I was shocked when I saw that Enka Middle School was 3rd on the list. And since that time, 2 of the schools have been built. They were planned, built, and now occupied. And Enka Middle School still remains a large school. And it just concerns me that we've been forgotten. And I would certainly like for you to take a look at us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I also worked at Enka Middle. I worked there for 15 years. And like everybody has said, our students come first. Well, my question is, when are the Enka Middle students going to come first? We have over 1,000 kids this year. We've had over 1,000 kids for many years. Irwin Middle did too. We both needed the intermediate schools of 5-6. Irwin Middle has theirs. which I'm very thrilled to death for them. Valley Springs in the year 2010 and 2011 had 760 students. In the year of 2011-2012, they went down to 495 students. Enka Middle stayed at over 1,000. When are our students going to come first? When are we going to get the help that we need for our students, you know, that everybody else has gotten? Why are we forgotten? Why are we the bridesmaid, never the bride? Well, it is true. You know, the ugly stepsister. When's Enka Middle going to get their school? We need to think about our students. Let's put them first. And we're not doing that in our district. So we need to get our school built. If we've got the money there, we've got the place to build it, what's the excuse for not having it? What's our excuse for not building it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa Baldwin.
Good evening. I wanted to, since green schools was a theme tonight, I think it's important to talk about having a healthy school. And I want the board to reconsider their endorsement of the STEM high school in this particular location. I thoroughly support STEM education. I'm a product of STEM education. And I just feel like there are events that happened recently that have just emphasized how this location is perhaps not the best option. Just last week, a report was released by the North Carolina Department of Environmental and Natural Resources that shows vapor intrusion of the contaminants TCE and PCE in the Square D plant right across the street from us. I don't know if everyone's aware, this is a former Square D plant also, and the industrial manufacturing and warehouse section of this building is what will be converted into the STEM high school. The vapor intrusion across the street exceeds acceptable levels. Breathing these vapors can be dangerous to your health, particularly women of childbearing age. It causes heart defects in the unborn baby. Just one of the symptoms that can happen. Just 600 feet away from this building, on this property, are monitoring wells that have contaminants at unacceptable levels in the groundwater. The contaminant plume that carries these, the TCE and PCE has not been mapped. We have lots of unanswered questions. Although the vapor intrusion testing in this building showed little to no vapor intrusion at this time, that doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future. And we need to protect our students and staff. The 4-year air quality monitoring plan for this building is inadequate. This is not a 4-year problem, this is a 40-year problem. And the renovation process may increase the risk of exposure in this building. So I would like to ask the board to reconsider this, possibly have a meeting next week and look at the results that came up from the Square D plant across the street, and talk about a mitigation system possibly here, or a plan to look at having a school within a school. At our comprehensive high schools, having STEM learning centers in all those schools would benefit so many more students, or even looking at college campus to put the STEM high school there. We have so many options that haven't been looked at. We haven't done an adequate facility study to see if we have capacity and that we could utilize another school building possibly for this STEM school. So thank you for the time.
Chairman Craig, Dr. Baldwin, members of the board, thank you for allowing me to speak, members of the audience. I'd like to open by saying there is a dialogue that has been opened with the school board and the county commission. Those of you who don't know, I'm representative of District 3 County Commission, and that's the Enka district. The school board will take the lead on that. I consider ourselves, the commission, partners with the school on this. they set the agenda on schools. We certainly will support them. We'll be there to react when they bring us a plan. You can count on that. Schools are important. And I'm speaking as a member of the commission, not as the board, but in talking unofficially with board members, we all support education, and we support the school board as well. And I'd like to say that we were out there this week, myself and Commissioner Belcher. We did do a tour of the school. Mr. Farley, Principal Keever, Chairman Reinhardt were there with us. It was a very interesting tour. I went through the Buncombe County school system, and it was a little walk back in time. And those schools, such as the Enka Middle School, were built shortly after I entered the school system in '59 to alleviate the 1 through 12 system then. And that was a time when Buncombe County had roughly, I'm going to guess, somewhere around 40,000 people in the entire county. In the what would be District 3, which takes in Enka, Canberra, there's somewhere 84,000 people in that entire district. So you can see how much we have grown over the years. So Buncombe County's changed dramatically. And I guess the biggest challenge we have, or the board has and the commission would have, would be a site to locate a school if the board, at their pleasure, decides to do this. But I will put myself at the disposal of this board to assist in any way I can and help bring about that school. And if anyone has any questions or would like to ask me or talk to me afterwards, please come up. I'd be happy to. And I'd also like to say, not only am I here for the Enka school, but we, as a board and myself, we support education all across this county. And it doesn't matter what district we're in, we support education. And for me personally, there's two things that are important as a commissioner that I need to be doing, and that is education and jobs. And those two go hand in hand. And we need the schools to attract the jobs. So I will be there. Thank you, board, and I'm at your disposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Okay, that's it. Thank you all for your comments. So we'll be moving on to the action agenda. And the first thing on the action agenda is Budget Amendment 6. Do I have a motion to approve Budget Amendment 6?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of Budget Amendment 6, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The next item is approval of the funding request for current expense and capital appropriations and submission of the 2013-2014 preliminary budget to county commissioners. Do I have a motion to approve that item?
I move approval of the funding request for current expense and capital appropriations and submission for 2013-14 in the preliminary budget to the county commission.
Very nice. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Gregg.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And now we will be bringing up items that were originally not on the item that we come up from the consent agenda. And the first one is the closed session minutes for March 2013. Obviously, we can't discuss the specifics of the closed minutes, but is there a motion to approve the closed session minutes for March 2013?
I move we approve those minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just wanted,
And realize you can't talk about the specifics of it.
I understand, I would strongly support that we start audio taping these closed sessions to ensure the accuracy of our minutes. I can't vote for the minutes tonight because of the inaccuracies.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Anybody else?
I would just add, as we discussed earlier, since I was out ill at that meeting,
That's
I'm
right.
not going to vote yea or nay on this because I wasn't there to hear what was or wasn't said.
All right. All those in favor of the closed session, approving the closed session minutes from March 2013, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
And now the item passes. Now we have the closed minutes from April 2013. Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve those minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Again, with the confusion over what was said and what wasn't said in the minutes, I strongly encourage that we start audio taping these. And again, I cannot vote to approve these minutes due to inaccuracies.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Anybody else? All those in favor of April 2013 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is the personnel report. And again, we can't talk about the specifics of individuals in that report. Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve the personnel report as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the personnel report as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving right along, this CTE local plan. Is there a motion to approve the CTE local plan?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the CTE local plan.
Is there a second?
I'll second. I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I just had a few questions for Christy Chief. I thought this was a wonderful plan. It's fantastic. I just hope that we're doing, that the board is doing enough for our CTE kids. And
You can give me more money and we'll do more.
I know. I know. Well, I noticed on the DPI website that we have an enormous amount of students participating in these programs. And I saw that we were offering, of course, only our middle schools will be offering the Project Lead the Way pre-engineering classes. And I guess I was concerned because I would like to see them be able to pursue this in high school and not just waiting till 2014, 15 for the STEM high school to offer these classes to a select group of students. Is there any way we can, I don't know, that we can amend the plan to add some way to start exposing the kids to these classes in high school?
Well, I think one of the things that we're trying to do is help to kind of bridge the gap with robotics and with, PSA at the high school level, we can do that. It's just extremely expensive to put it in each high school. So I'm just trying to at least train a teacher. I can't train them all for sure. And the licensure codes are very difficult as well. So if I can get one trained, I know one is trained at Reynolds and he takes students with robotics competition. So that's helping bridge that gap. I'm going to train one, I hope, at Irwin High to kind of help bridge that gap too. So we're going to go some slow and steady paces, but when STEM high school opens, we'll be able to bridge that gap for sure.
And I'm just wondering, I know right now with the uncertainty of whether the bills will pass to increase the amount of money for digital learning, that we'd be able to use that money to convert those drafting labs or whatever to the Project Lead the Way, the CAD design and that sort of thing that's involved.
And it's not an issue of that, it's just, are you going to replace drafting with Project Lead the Way? Because if you are, then I'm going to have a second lab and another teacher. So it's just a question of, is that more valuable? Is that not more valuable? I've got to displace a program.
But they can work complementary.
They can work complementary, but you have to have the trained people in.
Right.
So, and training's expensive.
That's great.
Yeah, I didn't know, since we do have a one teacher, if there's any way that we could start kind of a pilot program, whether it's at Reynolds High School or wherever, to utilize Project Lead the Way. I guess what I'm trying to say is, can the plan be amended later if we find out we can have that money to, use the labs and that sort of thing?
And I will just have to say that we will have to look into it.
Dr. Baldwin, do you have something?
Just for the audience, what is the cost of one Project Lead the Way course? And now that doesn't include the professional development that takes place at Duke University for each of those teachers.
So in order to equip a lab, it's around $30,000 because they run a very high-tech computer system, and it's about $1,200 probably a computer. And then you have to we set a 25-seat computer lab up, and then you have to have a printer. And the optimum would be a 3D printer as well. So we don't, that's very expensive. Of course, the Project Lead the Way training at Duke is expensive. And to train our teachers, it's a 10-day, which they will tell you 12 days packed into 10. Course that they have to take because they actually go through the entire course themselves. We also have to pay them a stipend because they go during the summer, so it's not fair to them to not pay them a stipend to do that too. And then just the supplies and materials themselves cost money as well. So if we kind of took it all into consideration, we could be looking at $50,000 or so per site.
Just to follow up Ms. Baldwin's comment, though, because I think with the potential of the flexibility and technology, Dr. Fuchs, if I saw your PowerPoint correctly today, the potential for the 3D equipment, the 3D printer, that's something that we would look at. That's in the MTAC plan to look at in the event that our flexibility does come through, correct? And that could be utilized certainly in a drafting class in CTE in every one of our high schools, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. It's exciting.
It is exciting. And Project Lead the Way, I will tell you, if you go into a Project Lead the Way classroom, you're going to see children engaged. And I know we took a DPI team through Enka Middle School, and it was the coolest thing. They were building a roller coaster out of PVC pipe, out of a funky foam thing. I know it has a name, but I don't really remember what it is. And duct tape and a marble. They had to build a loop and a camelback, and it had to repeat the same sequence to measure distance and speed so many times and stop 6 inches before it hit the end of the line, so to speak. So they were trying to figure out that configuration. It was incredible. So I tell you, the students that do it leave the classroom and they continue to talk about it when they leave the classroom. So that's exciting. And you know what? I'll take any money you want to give me. Always.
Anything
Ms. Swanger said that y'all don't say no. So I'm just putting it back on y'all.
Anything else from the board?
That's all.
Thank you, Ms. G.
Beef up those STEM programs.
I know.
Can I just
Please.
interject and say one thing while Christy's up here? I just wanted to give you and everybody that participated a big thank you for the presentation that you put together for the STEM program that you took out to the various middle schools. The feedback that I have gotten from parents and community, other people in the community, has been very positive. And, I've been excited from the beginning, and now I'm super excited. So thank you very much. I know that was a lot of work for you and everybody else that took part of that, but just want to let you know how much it was appreciated.
Well, and I'll say, I actually have to say this. We're recruiting new teachers, and, I always say, experts make the best teachers. So please make sure, like some hard-to-fill areas of health science, if you know RNs, I always campaign for teachers because, we need some. So if you have any teachers out there that are seeking, this is audio live, so I'm out there, please sign up today.
Thank you. All right, so all those in favor of the CTE local plan, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. Now we'll look at the STEM High School contract for professional engineering design services. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I did want to mention again, my concerns about the process of renovation and introducing the vapor intrusion into the building. I mean, this is, in light of new information we have, I hope that we will consider, that in making this decision. As far as what's going on across the street, we're not in isolation. The contaminants are migrating this way. Of course, we don't know for certain where because the contaminant plume hasn't been delineated. I feel it's a mistake to continue on this path, but we have other viable options out there for the school. Obviously, the SILSA program's been very successful at Asheville High School. The school within a school concept seems to be the trend now. It's a much more fiscally responsible way to do STEM education. You can reach so many more students by putting schools within a school. That $5.5 million we're going to spend on this building could be spread across the 6 comprehensive high schools, and put the STEM learning centers in those schools. The other options, of course, are using a local college, whether it's private or public. This has been done in other counties as well. I just want us to see if we can reach as many students as possible with the STEM education opportunities.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Yes?
I'm not sure if this is the place to ask, but maybe to put to rest any future concerns that we may have of possible vapor intrusion, would it be something that we could look into possibly going ahead and checking the feasibility of installing a mitigation system into our plans, just see what the cost might be to do something like that, and maybe discuss as a board if that's worth the cost to us, if it's deemed necessary. Stop me if this isn't the place to bring it up.
I mean, I think you're fine.
The item on the floor for debate is the engine,
Okay.
is the engineering service design contract. Now, obviously, it's relevant to the high school, so Ms. Baldwin's comments weren't directed towards this. I mean, they were general to the project. Ms. Churchill, your comments are not either, but I mean, it's up to the chair whether to allow those comments. So if the board would like to consider what you said, we would need to put it on an agenda or, for direct the administration to do so. But if the chairman wants to allow comments further on it, then we can discuss it here as well.
Why don't we recognize, I mean, just for those, just to catch everybody up, I look around and most of y'all have been in these meetings for a year and have heard all that you probably want to hear. But we do have monitoring wells right now that are non-detect. And I would anticipate that the cost of doing, I mean, the hard part's already been done, the hole's been dug, and next I wouldn't anticipate it being too expensive. But why don't we bring that up at our next meeting? And I'll defer to Bob Reinhardt, since he's not here, to how he wants to handle that.
I would like to make a comment.
Okay, that'd be good.
I think
We're going to vote on this engineering
Yes,
services.
we are.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
I'm
Lisa,
concerned with this-
Ms. Baldwin, Dr. Baldwin has the floor right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not hear that.
I do want to make respond. I think mitigation is exactly the step that would be taken. However, you don't mitigate when you don't have a problem. And I think we have gone over and over and over with this. And I've said publicly, I don't know how many times to how many people, this board was brought a potential concern. They addressed it over and above any standard that was presented by professional agencies, including Diener. It was addressed. There is a monitor system in place. And indeed, I think you're exactly right. If that particular monitoring system ever picks up any hint that there is a concern here, absolutely. And the mitigation process, Ms. Churchill, as we heard from those experts, is a fairly minimal process.
Even after the construction.
Absolutely. But I just want to refute publicly any reference that the plume or any contamination is coming our way. That is not the case, and I think that is falsely providing information out to the public. And it's time it stops. That is not true. And if you don't believe me, anyone in the public is welcome to come in and sit down and look at the facts, not the perceptions, but the facts. And that's indeed what every decision by this board concerning this STEM high school that has been made, that's exactly what it's been made on, facts, not perceptions, and not false perceptions sent out to the public.
And I just wanted to reiterate, the plume has not been delineated. We have new information from NC Diener. This board actually
Ms.
rejected
Baldwin,
a
let's-
motion.
No,
This
you
has
don't
to
tell
be
me I'm the
rebutted.
chair. No, listen, we're going to move on. You're repeating what you've already said, and that's not even what the topic is. At this point, we're reviewing the STEM high school contract. Is there any other non-environmental discussion on this, on the specifics? And let me just be, it's the contract. Any questions about the contract for professional engineering design services that the board has right now?
I did want to talk about the $63,000 that we're voting on tonight. We've already spent $27,000 doing an engineering study on this building. If we continue to put this type of money into this Square D plant, I think it's a big mistake. It's not fiscally responsible when we have alternatives that are much less costly and safer.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. All right, all those in favor of the motion on the floor, the contract for professional engineering design services, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see, now we're on to the AC Reynolds Middle School lease for the fire department. Is there a motion to approve that?
Mr. Chair, I move the lease extension for AC Reynolds Middle School and the county fire department.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just had a question. I know that the actual lease agreement was just posted recently. Mr. Shatley, are you familiar? Are we actually charging anything to the county? Because I couldn't find that in there.
It's $1. It's a nominal lease
Okay.
amount,
I
which
think
you're
that's
allowed to,
wonderful.
do with interlocal agencies. And
Right.
and this lease is, excuse me, I think it started in 1991,
Yes.
I think,
May
so.
of 91.
Yep, so it's been going on since then, but we don't charge them anything.
And I would like to add that having served as principal at AC Reynolds High School, that particular fire department, I could not even begin to express the value that they provide to both AC Reynolds Middle School and AC Reynolds High School. You could not put a price tag on it, and to even think $1 comes close to what they provide in terms of support would be absurd.
Oh, I completely agree. My son had a blood drive there recently, and it's a wonderful facility. And in the past, I've always supported these type of intergovernmental agreements for $1. I think that is absolutely the way to go, that we shouldn't be charging each other for those type of services.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, the motion passes. Next is I believe is the consent agenda. Wrapped into the consent agenda is the minutes from April 15th, minutes from April 11th, minutes of the work session, minutes from April 11th of the open session, student transfer and releases for 2012-13, and also 13 and 14 with an addendum. And then we have, I'm not going to read all the policies, but Series 4000 students, a bunch of policies there that we've reviewed. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those, I guess there's no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And now, let's see, now we have the information agenda, and we have policies for the first reading, Series 4000. A couple others. Attendance is an important one. Student dances is an important one. And then we have Series 8000, Fiscal Management. And again, that's just for information purposes. Next is we have a board directive on the agenda, and that comes from Ms. Churchill. Do you want to introduce that?
Sure.
Or read it? Either one.
I have to write everything down.
I guess what we need to get a motion, I'm sorry. So you want to read it, and then we'll get it, I'm sorry, you have to get a second. So you want to read it, and then we'll see if there's a second.
Sure. I make a motion that beginning with the August regular Board of Education meeting, Buncombe County Schools will contract with an outside source to broadcast regular Board of Education meetings to the public until we have moved into the new boardroom and have the ability to broadcast using our own equipment. The cost of this contracted service shall not exceed $1,000 per month.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I'd like to start the discussion.
That's great.
If that's okay. We've talked a lot here lately about Buncombe County Schools wanting to enhance our partnership with the community. And I think that's wonderful. I love it. I know that parents I've talked to love the fact that, there's just this togetherness that we're, trying to put out there. And so, to me, if we're going to become partners, then we really need to make sure that we're making ourselves available and invite people in to our homes, so to speak. And sometimes you do that when it's convenient for the person that you're inviting in, and that may very well be, 8 o'clock on a Friday evening, or 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So I just think that it would really help facilitate our relationship with the community if we could be available to them other than just 6:30 till whenever on the first Thursday of every month. The other thing is I watched these students today, and I watched parents clamoring trying to get pictures, and I just think that how awesome would it be if Grandma and Grandpa in Missouri could click on a website and watch their grandchild make a presentation to the Board of Education. Quite honestly, you can't put money on that. That's just an awesome thing. And then the presentations that we're viewing, our volunteer has done a wonderful job being here. She's here faithfully for the long haul, but she's very limited with what she's able to do with the equipment that she has, and she's trying to get the information out there to the public. But I just think with a professional company, our presentations, the public's going to be able to view them and not have to wonder or question what exactly it is that they're seeing, and there won't have to be any guessing as to what we're doing as a board.
Anyone else? I had a couple questions. Mr. Fearley, when is this, not to put you on the spot in terms of construction deadlines, I know how they are. Yeah, is this when would you, by the way, the auditorium, I believe the Minitorium is going to be the first thing done. Assuming everything goes well, do you have a rough idea of when that would be? Never mind.
We're in the design process right now, so it's really hard to tell, but it's going to be the end of the year,
So it will be a
I can tell you
while.
now, but I'll keep you up to date on that.
Okay. And then, Ms. Churchill, do you have an idea of, I mean, I think you may have done some research, or I'm guessing that you have somebody in mind that could do this, or not?
Well, I was actually going off of the last presentation from administration where Ms. Blunt had spoken with a company here locally that would be able to do it within our requested price range that I'm proposing. Of course, I'm sure we'd have to probably look for other bids also, but I do believe that we can keep this within the $1,000 a month range that we're looking at.
So we're looking at about $6,000 until we, assuming that we're on schedule.
Yeah, I did want to mention, we do have some, Amy mentioned the STEM town hall meetings and the excellent quality of the videos that were shown at those meetings. I feel like we already possess equipment. It's not like we have to go out and buy anything in order to do this. In fact, I've seen iPhones being used to videotape the meeting. I've seen iPads being used. I've seen other districts use laptop computers. So it seems that, that shouldn't be an added expense. And just talking about the intergovernmental lease, perhaps we need to think out of the box and maybe use the commissioners' chambers. I see Commissioner King is still here. And maybe we can put in a good word for us. Perhaps we could use their chambers for the $1 lease, or whatever you want to call it, intergovernmental exchange. They have excellent videotaping equipment there and capability, to post that on the internet, and as well as our cable channel 16. So that might be, I think that falls within the realm of your motion to an alternative to look at, especially since the building will be undergoing renovations.
Mr. Chair, this is a board directive. I think Ms. Blunt's fully capable of bringing back some good recommendations and fitting within that timetable. I think you've already begun quite a bit of research, and we'll be ready to bring this back to you in June.
Do you want a motion?
Sure.
Well, may I ask, maybe there was somebody else who was fixing to speak. I'm confused. I understand where you are with this, but what I'm reading is an action item, not a board directive.
Oh, okay.
And I want to make sure, because what I just heard you say, and what the motion is, the motion reads to me that we're going to do this. We vote on this tonight, we're going to do it, we're going to do it beginning in August, whether it, if it costs $1,300 a month, does that mean we're not going to do it?
That would be my desire. We keep it at 1,000 or less.
I think a directive coming back to us in June I would be willing to support that. I'm not willing to support this because I'm locked into X amount of money for 6 months to whoever knows how long, that I think we could probably spend in a better way. But if we were making a directive to bring us back a feasibility study in a month's time at our next meeting, or if we call another meeting where these parameters fit, then I could support that as a directive to bring that back to us. But this reads to me as an action item that is something we are going to do if we pass this tonight, is the way it reads to me. It may not have been your intent, but that's the way it reads.
I guess my concern is that we're asking administration to do something that they've done in the past when that was part of what they looked at when they brought to us the whole concept of the Minotaurium and starting to do that first and broadcast at that point. I know Ms. Blunt has at that point spoken with somebody here locally that said that at the time that they would be willing to do this for the stated $1,000.
Ms. Blunt, could you expand on that? Do you mind?
I just hate.
Am I out of line, Mr. Chair, to ask her to do that?
You're fine, you're fine. That's the last item on the agenda, so you're okay.
I spoke in April or March, I think, of 2011 with Tim Amos.
Is that who's with you?
Right, who is a former Asheville City Schools employee who still runs they have a truck that has equipment in it, a switcher, cables, and can run, he could park in the parking lot, run his cables in here, have several cameras, and I believe take the feed from the PowerPoint or whatever presentation into the switcher, which means that people at home are actually going to be able to see what's on the screen versus showing a camera up and looking at it. So at that time, without coming here, he estimated it would cost about $1,000 for his time, effort, and everything, and that was for one meeting, and that was a normal meeting. It wouldn't cover probably something that started at 1 this afternoon and is still going on. So we need to look at that. At the time, some board members, I think, had suggested we could have student volunteers, which is how they make it work at Asheville City Schools, but their kids are right there and the timing is different. That was part of the thought of waiting till the STEM school, not only for the equipment, but also we'd have some volunteers to help. So it would be a fluctuating, you're paying people to do a job, so we'd have to make sure that he was comfortable with that time frame. And there may be other people out there that we have never gotten to the point of actually calling somebody and saying, what's the price, we're ready to do this, go. So we would need to get that done. So Ms. Churchill's correct. I mean, we have an estimate, you know, he gave us an estimate. I think Ms. Baldwin had gotten an estimate that was in that ballpark. I think Ms. Baldwin found out some other school district was doing it for about $900. So I think we're in the ballpark. We're just gonna have to watch the clock and see how late our meetings go and recognize that there could be some changes because people are gonna pay by the hour for staff. So that's
Do we
that.
have anybody, how many people are in the communications department? How many staff people do you have?
I have myself, I have a writer, and I have Chris Crone. who's our
I mean, I don't know if it's, you know.
Oh, we would absolutely
time
use
that you
our
could
people
use.
as well. I mean, there's no question about that, so long as he's comfortable with us doing the camera work. We wouldn't have the knowledge to do the other side. So.
Yeah, and I
So-
think some of the other things you had looked at were.
And he was
the,
assuming a couple of volunteers for that.
Right, some of the computer, online, internet broadcasting services that charge about $400.
And that's where, if you don't mind, I'd like
That's
to
fine.
answer that question, because where Ms. Baldwin is not correct is that, and I've got packets for each of you waiting for this question, that you all voted it down last time, but that's only the software to link a video to a budget. That is not the cost of broadcasting a meeting. I have quotes from the companies that you recommended, AV Capture All. I asked Ms. Churchill to see if she could stop into Granicus. There are companies who do what you're talking about. That's after you have the video feed and after you have the other hookups to bring your presentations in. They would be happy to come if you'd like to bid. In fact, they're interested in bidding on our new room, whether it would be this room or the other room. I actually have quotes of around $29,000 to $30,000 for those companies to come and install what we would need to have to use their software. And so I have a packet with that information anytime you'd like to see it. But again, we have to understand what we're talking about, the videotaping quality, which again, as I explained to Ms. Churchill, it would be nice not only to have it on the web, though certainly we want it on the web, but we have a cable channel that the school system has never been able to fully take advantage of. You cannot put cell phone video, consumer video on the cable channel. It will not meet the qualifications for being on the channel. So we want to make sure we have FCC quality, the video to go on that. So that's why we want to do that.
Isn't the videos like you do for the STEM town halls? I mean, those.
I did not do the video for the STEM Town Hall. We do not have the ability to do that. That was done by a hired company. And again, when you take a video and edit it, that's a whole different ballgame from a broadcast camera or something that's being used live. We don't have a switcher to be able to take audio in. We don't have the presentation. All we can do for you is exactly the same thing that your volunteer is doing, which we can do. We've said that all along. If you want us to do the volunteer video like the volunteer is doing, we can do that. There's never been a question about that. The question has been before the board, do you want the public to see a better quality video produced by your government to show the presentation so that the people at home can see exactly what you want to see?
I'd strongly recommend to this board as superintendent, back to Mrs. Churchill's recommendation, that if we are in control of the particular video, how the production, how it goes out to the public, then I think we've got an obligation to do it in a first-class way and not simply, I could probably hire my 4-year-old to bring his iPod and we could go live. That's not Buncombe County Schools. If indeed the board determines this is the direction we want to go prior to the equipment being set up and run in the Minotaurium, and let's do it the right way. That's what I strongly recommend to you. Let's do it the right way.
And is the 1,000, well, let's do it this way. This is a board directive, and my attorney here on my left gave me something. It says, if the board directives have approved by consideration of a majority vote, it will be added to the upcoming meeting agenda as presented, as a presentation by the administration for further consideration by the board. And so I see us moving in that direction if we get a majority vote. And by then, you will have time to get the people to come in and actually see it and see if we can get it done by $1,000. Is that,
With
is
no
the board?
commitment, just.
Yeah, they're just coming in to tell us. I mean, their staff is. But the good news is we've gotten we started pretty broad, and I feel like thanks to Ms. Churchill, we've gotten it kind of narrowed the specifics of it a little bit more than we have been over the years of discussing
I
this.
have just a simple comment.
Sure.
What I would like to see included in that, if at all possible, and maybe the county commissioners have records, I don't know, is I don't mind being on TV. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to watch me on TV, but I don't mind being on TV. But I would like to know, if you're going to spend money this way, how many people actually watch the commissioners? I mean, really? I mean, how many? A lot? Well, I know you do, but I mean, I don't want to watch it.
You can get website information, you cannot get television, documented television information.
You can't, I mean,
Again, you can see what websites, how many people look at something on a website, but there's no way to tell.
Can we measure this at all?
What I'm saying is you can measure how many people go to a website to watch it. You cannot measure how many viewers you have on the cable channel. So
Okay,
there's,
all right.
Can I just kind of give an antidote to that? Because, you were talking about you couldn't really measure how many people watch a television show. And I guess it was probably about 3 years ago when we were discussing annexation of Royal Pines, and I got involved. And I stood up before Asheville City Council and had this big god-awful red T-shirt that said, "Don't annex me," on it, and gave my presentation. And the very next day, I was at Mission Hospital working, and I couldn't go 10 feet, I kid you not, without somebody saying, "I saw you on TV." And they stopped and they watched it, and then they said, "I didn't realize that was going on with the annexation." They'd watch, said they'd watch a little more. I had patients saying that they had seen it. So, it's probably not something that you would necessarily DVR, but if you know that something's coming up or somebody's going to be on it, I think the interest is definitely there. And, we got a lot of interesting things getting ready to go on here with our school system, and I think that's going to generate an audience for us.
and that is something that, going back to the $400, the laptop app, AV catch roll that we want to keep in mind for budgeting purposes. The beauty of that type of software is it does enable you, once you are videotaping, to link to your agenda. It is an ongoing cost, so just for future reference, there will be ongoing costs with videotaping, whether we have our own equipment or not, to do what you'd like to do, which is a good thing.
Okay. I think we've discussed this enough. We'll discuss it again next month. So all those in favor of the board directive from Ms. Churchill, please say aye.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure I understand, we're voting on it directly now, and we're not voting that this is going to be done. No, is that correct?
Correct. From our board policy, we're requesting the staff put some time in this and give us a presentation next month. And that's
That's
all
why
we're
I asked
doing.
the question, because I understand the board policy, but that's enough. But I want to make sure
And
that you made it, I want to make
right,
sure.
no,
that
and I apologize because actually my intention was to vote on it and make the decision to start in August. But since I did that incorrectly.
But it's your thing, and I just want to make sure I understand before I vote what it is I'm voting on based on what you.
Well, I'm willing to
I
follow
think
the
it's
rules. That's a
helpful. I
learning
think it's
process
also,
for me.
yeah. And I think it's a helpful process. I mean, I personally was having a hard time saying yes until I know a little bit more about it, so that way, and I'd like to think about it a little bit more too, so.
Well, you can amend the motion if you want it to be exactly.
Well, no, it's a board directive, so we're treating it as such. All those in favor of the board directive, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Being no further items on the agenda, we have a regular meeting June 6th, and we have a special called meeting on June 28th at 1 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of leaving?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.